Ladies and gentlemen, will you welcome Reid?
How you going? Jeremy. Listen. Shut up, Trappy. This prostitute got knocked down by a car. She'd lay on the road saying, "My God, I'm blind. I'm blind. All of a sudden, the fella pushed his way over the crowd. He said, "Stand back. Stand back." He said, "I'm a doctor, stand back." He went up to this prostitute. He said, "You all right?" She went, "No, I'm blind." He said, "Don't panic. How many fingers I got up?" She went, "Fuck me, I'm paralysed too." What do you call a man with a blackhead on his dick? Hugh Grant. Don't start that, Ray. I like silly stories. This fellow was walking on the road, he's got his dog under his arm. His mate come up, he said, "Where are you going, Tom?" He said, "I've got to put the dog down." He said, "Is it mad?" And he said, "It's heavy." Or two cows staying in the field. One cow said to the other one, "What do you think about this mad cow disease?" The other one said, "Don't affect me. I'm a fucking duck." This racehall trainer said to his jockey, he said, "Now what do you want to do?" He said, 6 furlong race. He said, "You hold the horse back for 5 furlongs. The last furlong you let it go. You cannot lose. There ain't no way you can lose. This horse has been trained for it." This jockey's on his horse. 5 furlongs, he brings it out. As he brings it out, all of a sudden, a bottle of Moe champagne hits it right on the nose. Wallop. A hock of ham in the ear. Salmon sandwiches. Cucumber lettuce. Lost the race by streets, got back in the train and said, "What happened?" He said, "I was hampered in the last furlongs." Silly story. What's up? Turn it in. Fellow went to the doctor, he said, "Can you get AIDS from a toilet seat?" The doctor said, "Only if you sit down before the other fella stands up." You're in hospital, he's covered from head to toe in bandage. You can't see his face, just his eyes and a slit of the mouth. Fellow went, "What happened to you, pal?" He said, "What happened to me?" He said, "Bungee jumping." He went, "What? When you throw yourself on a bridge with all that elastic round your legs?" He went, No. Mr. Bungee came home early." What do you call a Russian prostitute? "On your back, you bitch." What do you call a Russian with 3 testicles? Uji Nikobolokov. Fellow walked in the chemist, he said, "You got any cotton wool balls?" The chemist said, "What do you think? I'm a fucking teddy bear." Two nuns were riding this tandem through this little village. And as they came through the village, one nun said to the other one, "I've never come this way before." And I said, "No, it's probably the cobbles." Or about the 2 pregnant nuns met in the street. One said, "Hello, my dear, I haven't seen you since Benedictus." Hey. I tell you what is nice, you ladies in London, you just got your own bleeding radio programme. You heard a bit lots this morning, Radio PMT. Yeah, this morning. I had a disc jockey come on. "Good morning, ladies, welcome to your own radio programme, Radio PMT." Don't touch that fucking dial! Do you know why choir boys have got parted hair? Good boy, good boy. They're dirty bastards, them vicars, isn't it? Every week one of them's up in the bloody paper interfering with a little boy or a little girl. This old vicar was in his, his vestry, he's just taken service. All of a sudden this little girl come in crying her eyes out. He said, "What's the matter, my dear?" She went, "Oh, vicar," she said, "I'm so worried I've got these 2 lumps coming up on my chest." "Oh," he said, "I'll have to have a look at that." She took a little blouse off and there they were, a little buzz. He went, "Oh, that's nothing to worry about, my dear. That just shows that that you are growing into womanhood." She went, "Vicar, but I've got all this hair at the bottom of my tummy." "I'll have to see that," he said. She dropped her knickers and there it was, all soft and silky. He said, "That's nothing to worry about, my dear. I've got hair at the bottom of my tummy too. Look." And he dropped his trousers. She went, "Oh, Vicar, when will I get one of those?" He said, "As soon as you close that fucking door." "Yeah, I'm glad you're bleeding laughing. My old doctor weren't laughing this morning. 1 o'clock I've had to call him out." He said, "What's the matter with you?" "I said, I got a mole on the end of my dick." He said, "Let's have a look." "Well," he said, "I can remove the mole," he said, "but I'll have to report it to the RSPCA." I went to see that Pavarotti last night. What a miserable bastard. Don't fucking like you joining in, does he? But of course I digress. Now, personally, I'm a plain old-fashioned eater. I like English food, egg and bacon and chips, and a good roast and all that game. But I've never really got in that spicy game, you know what I mean? But they dragged me in to have an Indian. We went to this Indian, it's called Gandhi's Revenge, it was called. Size of their fucking crisps. And I had what was called a Jurassic Park curry. Jesus Christ, and this morning I woke up with a megasaur ass. My bum felt like 2 rounds of burnt toast. God, I had some lovely colour girls, some lovely black girls. I mean, I'm an home up type, you know what I mean? I'm not a boob man. I like bums and legs, you know what I mean? And I look at them black girls with their bums, all that lovely round. You know how they got that? It's evolution over tens of thousands of years. When a black man approached him, he drops his loincloth, they used to go, "You ain't fucking putting that in me." And I suppose you was as glad as I was to read in the papers that 62% of our ethnic minorities are major lottery winners. Do you remember that first Pakistani geezer who won £17 million on the lottery? And he said to him, it was a Muslim or whatever it may be, I'm not being racist, don't get me wrong, it was a fact. Said to him, "As a Muslim, you cannot have £17 million. Fuck me, didn't he change his religion quick?" 10 minutes, he was a fucking Catholic. And about 5 months ago, an Indian won £16 million on a pool. It was very nice. I thought that was lovely. He decided to share it amongst his family. They got £4.22p each. I mean, what are they doing with that lottery money? In all due respect, I mean, they've just made an announcement. They're going to do something to sports and all that going. Terrific. But I mean, £50 million to the Opera House. I mean, it's only the rich and the privileged to go there. £8 million for the Churchill papers. How much is fucking milk bill? Unbelievable. Here, you laugh your tits up with this. Oh, you've heard it. I am... This Father Christmas was sitting in his little grotto, see, when his about 15-year-old girl came in again and sat his lap. He said, "And what do you want for Christmas, my dear?" She went, "Father Christmas," she said, "I'd like some hair at the bottom of my tummy, like all my friends." He said, "What a little white beard do?" It's funny, isn't it? Picture the scene. 1873, Tombstone in the Wild West, right in the middle of town, not a soul about, not one only one cowboy walking down the road all on his own. He's got a pink hat on, gold and green shirt, sequin guns, cerise trousers, and leopard skin boots. And as he's walking down, he's going, "Cowboys, you cowboys." I'm getting fucking worried about me already. Cowboys, nobody, not a soul. He walks into the saloon, "Cowboys, where are you? You." All of a sudden his head comes up from behind the bar. I said, "What you looking for, son?" He said, "I'm looking for the cowboys." "So no," he said. "Cowboys," he said, "see?" "Well," he said, "there's no cowboys round here." "Oh," he said, "what a bloody nuisance." "No, it's a bloody, where are they?" He said. "Don't start out, you can bend over and I'll drive you home." So he went. He said, he said, "They're all down at the corral." "Oh," he said, "down at the corral." He said, "What are they doing down there?" He said, "They're hanging a man." "Oh," he said, "what a fucking waste." "Oh, what a waste," he said. "What are they hanging him for?" He said, "Because he's a puff." "Well," he said, "I'm going to mosey on back out of here." Now, you turn that row in, for Christ's sake, migraine. I do, I love what I was in the army one. You know, you got a lot of guys out there in the army. You know, I'm talking about the medical. When you had to strip off, stand there with nothing on. The medical officer come by, got hold of my plums. He went, "Cough." I went, "Oh." So say 99. I went, 99. Got hold of this puff. He went, "Cough." He went, So say 99. He went, 1, 2, 3, 4. They are funny. I mean, years ago they were ridiculed. Not nowadays. They're accepted in society. And why not? They are funny. Alice and Rose were walking around the fair. As they were walking around the fair, Alice went, "Oh," he said, "Rose." "Oh," he said, "look, the Big Dipper." He said, "It's so dangerous. It's so fucking dangerous," he said. Rose said, "I'm going on it." He said, "You can't go." He said, I must. Rose has got it. It's gone up and down and up. All of a sudden, it's got to the top, right over the top, crash into the ground. There is snot and blood all over the place. Alice is pushing his way through the rubble. "Rose, where are you? Where are you?" Eventually, he pulled a big lump of tin up. And there was Rose laying there with his bleeding arm hanging off. He's got his nose round here. Oh, he's covered in claret. He said, "Rose, you hurt?" He said, "Have I hurt, you bastard?" He said, "I should say I'm hurt. I went round 12 times, you never fucking waved once." All right, son. Go on with your affairs, mate. Thanks, darling. Bit of liberty, but I left mine on the machine. Thank you. Jesus Christ. They're good, aren't they? Hey, man. Oh, shit, man. 2 giants were walking around the world. One giant said to the other one, "Where do you think we are now?" One giant said, "Hang on, I'll tell you." He put his hand through the clouds. He went, "Paris." He said, "How'd you know that?" He said, "I can feel the top of the Empire State Building." No, it wasn't. That was New York. Well, they never had a fucking map, see? Never had a map, see? So, anyway. Blinded. Time it was up. Anyway, he said, right. So they went a bit further. He said, "Where do you reckon we are now?" He went, "Paris." He said, "How do you reckon that?" He said, "I can feel the top of the Eiffel Tower." Another 4 miles. He said, "Where do you reckon we are now?" He went, "Hackney." He said, "How do you know that?" He said, "Some bastards nicked me fucking watch." I want to tell you tonight, very, very sincerely, because it's a great pleasure for me to be back at the Hackney Theatre. I started my career when I was 16 years old as an actor. And I used to stand in, like, read him parts, you know, just to get little parts. And we was doing a thing here called A Merchant of Venice. I mean, I'd done all the spear carrying and all that lot. But I had to read him at least 5 parts. And I blew them off by heart, apart from one part, which was only one bloody line. And my career started and nearly finished on this very stage. And the guys got ill, so I had to do the line. So they've called me in, and I didn't know the line. And I'm backstage, right on the list, and the line was, "Someone's fired the cannon. Someone has fired the cannon." And there I was pacing up and down. "Someone has fired the cannon. Someone's fired the cannon." I didn't even know when to bleed and go on. I said to the geezer, "When I go on," he said, "Don't worry, I'll push you on, no problem." There I was, "Someone's fired the cannon." So all of a sudden he's pushed me on. The cannon went bang. I went, what the fucking hell was that? this stage. It's nice to be as it is now, you know, you get a bit of recognition in the East Enders and things like that. I mean, I love it, of course I do. So the barbers the other day, he said, you know, do you like being recognised, Mr. Reid? Well, I said, you know, it's very nice. I said, but on the odd occasion, I'm a human being the same as anybody else. Sometimes it gets me down a little bit, you know, it gets a bit trumpy. He said, I know you ain't got much hair. He said, well, I take it, you know, cut it all off. He said, no one to recognise you. I said, you cut my hair off and no one to fucking recognise you. Oh, I want to tell you, it's nice to be here this week. I mean, I don't do a great deal of work these days, and I hate going away, but last week I had to go away. Now, suffice to say, it was up north. Now, the only reason I'm saying it, just in case of any of you people come from north or you've got relations or friends up there, and suffice to say, it was a Trades and Labour Club. Jesus Christ, normally a 3-hour journey on the motorway. 7 hours! 17-mile queue back to this little village on the M1 called Loose Shippings. So, and I can't stand hotels. I mean, they're booking this terrible hotel, little tiny. I'll give you an idea how big the room was. I put the key in the lock and broke the fucking window. Jeez. I just thought they bore the life of them. I'll tell you how bored I was. I sent down for another Bible. He dies in the end, you know. And all due respects to you, any of you people out there who've got a religious bent, you know, terrific. You know, I respect your ideas and what have you. But by the same token, I ask you to do the same with me. I think it's a load of rubbish, personally. I mean, I do. I mean, a load of crap. I'm crying out loud. And these people run about the church leaders and the Mary Whitehouses of this world. Oh, yeah, ban this, too much violence. Have you read the Bible? Fucking hell. People getting turned into blocks of salt. Thousands of people being ripped to pieces by lions. In the First Testament, the Old Testament, God drowned the fucking world. Except for Noah and his firm. He drowned the world, yeah, nice and kind. And Herod went up spearing all the young firstborn of the family. And when Moses led them over the Red Sea and he touched it like that, and it all parted, and Moses and his firm went through, and there's all the soldiers, 200,000 soldiers. He touched it again, it drowned everybody. 10 minutes later, God gives Moses the tablets, the commandments. First commandment, thou shalt not kill. He's just done fucking 200,000. What's going on? Unbelievable. Who wrote that crap? Some fucking ancestor of Enid Blyton. God help us. And there's one in the Book of John or something like that. I mean, I do read the Bible because that's all there is to read in hotels. And it was Caesar's birthday. And do you know what they've done for him? I mean, some of you read the story. They've nailed up 100,000 Christians down this long road in a straight line, Roman road. And in the morning, on his birthday, he's come out with his big gold chariot glinting in the, all in the sun, and all the soldiers and centurions are going, "Hail to Caesar on his birthday." And he was riding down, all these dead bodies hang up. I mean, what do you give a man for his birthday who's got everything? That, I suppose. He's gone out a mile and there's one geezer up there, not dead, he's going. Caesar went, "Centurion, that man is still alive, kill him." And he got a spear right up his plums. Wallop! Geezer went, "Oh, turn it in." He went, "Oh." The centurion got a ladder, he leaned up and he went straight up this ladder and he got a knife right in this geezer's comics. Oh. And the geezer was going, and the centurion come down, he said, "Caesar, he will not die till he's spoken to you." Centurion come down, Caesar got up the ladder and said, "What is it, my man?" He went, "Happy birthday to you." The violence. When Jesus was hanging on the cross, right, he's up there, isn't he? And all the other firm have escaped. But you see Peter in the crowd, he went, "Pete, here." Pete went, "Turn it in." He went, "Behave yourself, Governor, please." No, he went, "Pete, come here." He went, Don't, we'll be tumbled, we'll get tumbled." He said, "No, come here, Pete." Pete went over, he went, "What do you want?" He went, "I want to see your house from up here." He said. And I'm not sure even our religious leaders believe everything that they teach. Fella in the bleeding road, he's got his car, he can't get the wheel of it, he's got a punch for his kicker. "You bastard, you bastard." Vicar went, no, my man. No need to act like that. If you need something helping, call the Lord's name. He went, bollocks. He jacked the car up for her, he slid on the car, he's trying to knock it off from the inside with an hammer. All of a sudden the car went wallop on his chest. He went, Jesus Christ. The car lifted off this fella, floated about 9 yards and settled in the gut, and the vicar went, well, I'll be fucked. But I digress. I am now up there looking for this Trades and Labour Club. I don't know where to go. And it is an evil area. I mean evil. I walked out, I see a cab driver. I said, excuse me, Jack. I said, do you know the way that Trades and Labour Club? He said, how do you know my name was Jack? I said, I guessed it. He said, well, fucking guess you went to the Trades and Labour Club. That's the sort of people we're dealing with. And everywhere I go in this country, I always seem to get the village idiot. I said to this young kid, I said, how do you get the Trades and Labour Club? He said, my brother takes me. I eventually find a club. I've got 20 minutes to spare. I fancy something to eat. I'm starving. I was going to stop on the motorway to have a sandwich and a cup of tea, but I only had 50 quid on me, see? So... And the woman behind the counter walked in and went, good evening. She went, what do you want? I said, what do you got? She went, chicken's breast and frog's legs. I said, not what you fucking look like. Now, what have you got? Wait a minute. Listen. She's like, hamburgers and hot dogs. I said, well, give us a couple of hamburgers and hot dogs. Listen to me. She's gone to the fridge, took out 2 hamburgers, took the paper off the hamburgers and snuck them under each arm. I said, behave yourself. What are you doing? So I'm firing out the hamburgers. I said, cancel the hot dog. This area, I mean, it's a tough area. I've walked out now. All the windows in this place where I'm working, there's no glass in the windows. They're all boarded up. The window cleaner does his round with a fucking sander. I mean it. And I've got to the club. There's a girl standing outside the door eating chips with her knickers around her ankles. I said, excuse me, sweetheart. I said, do you know your knickers around your ankles? And she went, fuck me, has he gone? It was awful. They had 2 bouncers on the door. When I walked in, they said to me, you got any weapons? I went, no. They fucking gave me some. I've got in there, there's a Muslim stripper on stage, a Muslim stripper. And all the fellas are going, show us your fucking face. Unbelievable. I did well. Halfway through my act, they gave me a house. Brick by brick. Fuck off! You guys out there, I mean, I've got some mates on stage, you know what I've been going through? I've been going through the yips with a putt. I just cannot bleed and putt. And I'm playing with a mate of mine about 4 weeks ago, who's also not a good putting, but on the day, he was slotting everything in. I said, Tommy, I've never seen you putt like that. That's bloody marvellous. What do you put it down to? He said, it's these bifocal glasses. I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, the bifocal glasses, I look down here, I see a small ball. I look up there, I see a big hole. All they had to do is slot the small ball into the big hole. Here, I said, can I borrow him? He said, yeah. I'll see him an hour later. He said, how's it going? I went, fucking useless. I went, had a wee. I got it out, I saw a big one and a little one. I knew the big one weren't mine, so I put it away and pissed myself. Listen. 3 weeks ago, I'm playing golf. In actual fact, I'm practicing. I finished the practice ground. I go into the clubhouse. There's no one in the clubhouse at all, apart from the steward behind the bar. He said, morning, Mr. Reid. I said, morning, son. I said, get a pint, will you? He said, certainly. I've sat down, he's brought it over. I'm halfway through this pint when all of a sudden the door has burst open. In has walked 2 unbelievable looking women. One's got long black hair with big dark eyes. The other one's got short blonde hair with these big blue eyes. So I said to the barman, do me a favour, son, send him over a drink, will you? He went, no. I said, what? He said, no. I said, send him over a drink. What's the matter with you? He went, I said, send them over a drink. He said, please yourself. They had 2 large brandy and cokes. Now, the thing about it was, they never even turned around to acknowledge me, but I thought that'd do. They finished that drink. I said to the barman, do me a favour, son, send him over another drink. He went, no. I said, here, do you want a fucking dry slap? Send him over a drink. It's my wedge. I'll do what I want with it. He went, please yourself. Cut a long story short, they've had 5 large brandy and cokes. Now the thing about it was, at the end of the day, when they finished their last one, they got up and walked out the door. Never looked at me, never acknowledged me, never said thank you, never even smiled. Didn't even look straight out the door. Barman come over and said, I'm sorry, Mr. Reid, I know you think I was interfering. I said, you're out of order, son. My money, I'll do what I like with it. Anything I want to do. He said, the only reason I was trying to interfere, Mr. Reid, he said, I know those 2 girls. They're rank lesbians, and when I say rank, they hate men too. I mean, they don't look at men, they don't talk to men, they just hate them. I should have done me down there when I bleed and chat with them anyway. Give us another drink, he sent it over. I'm halfway through that. All of a sudden, the door opens again, in has walked the blonde one. A lipstick smeared all down her. The blouse is hanging open, the boobs half hanging out. Got nipples like 6-inch nails. Listen. The skirt's all twisted, and the lead to the suspender belt is hanging down. She said to me, oi. I said, what? She went, here. And then me. She went in. I said, what? She said, I have got my girlfriend in the back of the car. She's totally naked. She's got one leg over each chair, and she's very, very moist. And I was wondering, would you care to breathe in the essence of my girlfriend's pussy? Oh, I think that played. She went, oh, God. Oh, man. Lorry driver going down the road. He's driving his lorry 8 miles behind. 8 miles. This fella's behind him, honking his horn. Honk, 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 honk. Honk, 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 honk. 8 miles later, the lorry driver pulls over again. He said to the geezer, what do you want? He said, you're losing your load, sir. He said, fuck off, I'm gritting. Irish fella went to Australia. He's been walking all over Australia. He came up with this Australian sheep farm. He said, you look a gambling man, sir. Yeah, he said, I am, cobber, yes. He said, I can tell you how many sheep you have at this farm. Could I have one? Yeah, he said, that sounds a reasonable bet. He said, 19,712. Jeez, he said, I don't know, you got that figure, but you bang on the button, take a sheep. This paddy walked across, he picked up a bleeding animal, walked back again. The Aussie said, hang on a minute, pal. You like a bet? I like a bet. If I can tell what part of the world you come from, can I have my animal back? Oh, he said, certainly, sir. He said, Dublin. He said, Jesus Christ, how did you know that? He said, never mind how I knew that. Put me dog down and fuck off. Oh, man. Oh, I want to tell you, so handy to get away from my old woman tonight. Jesus Christ. What animal that is. Said to me this morning, what does reincarnation mean? I said, it means that when you die, you come back as something else. But I'll come back. I want to come back as a pig. I said, you ain't fucking listening to me. I met her, listen. I met her at a dance, and I said, do you want to dance? Yeah, right. So we're up dancing. I said, can I smell your pussy? She went, no, you can't. And then it must be your feet then. I said, can I take you home? Because you had a flat. The other one wasn't all that clever either, but you know. So we got back to her place. She went, do you want to come in? I said, yes. She said, the only thing is, you'll have to be extremely quiet because the room that I sleep in, the landlady sleeps next door, and if she hears any noise, she'd throw me out. I said, okay. She put the clean, I know, very quiet. Said, as we're going up the stairs, keep on the right-hand side because the left-hand side creaks. Creaks. I know, this is, I know. Shit. We get in the bedroom door and she sleeps in there. Be quiet, very quiet. Be quiet. I know. Be quiet. Let me close the door. Shut up. Let me take off your blouse. Shut. No, I don't want to get in money. Let me take off your thing. Lay back on the bed. This is it. Shut up. Wait a minute. I got my legs at 9:15. I went, she went, fuck me! I said to her, she said, have you ever made love like an hurricane? I said, what are you talking about? I said, well, you must try it. I said, I don't want to try it, do I? She went, yeah, it's great. She said, go to the kitchen, get a bowl of water. I said, what? I said, a bowl of water. She said, I'll get ready for you. I've gone to the kitchen, I've got a bowl of water. I've come back in, she's laying back in the bed there, legs wide open. She went, flick the water on me. Oh, what? Flick, oh, I said, what's all that about? She said, that's the rain from the hurricane. Oh, she went, now, turn the light on and off. I said, what? Same time, I went, click, 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 click. I said, what's that? She said, that's the lightning from the hurricane. Oh, click, click, click. She went, now close the door. Keep open and close the door. Oh, bang, 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 click, click, click. I said, what's that? She said, that's the thunder from the hurricane. Click, click, bang, bang, bang. She went, are you ready? I said, I'm sorry, darling, I can't fuck in this weather. The following morning, my mate said, you never took her home. I said, I did, so that's the local bike. I said, get out of here. I said, get out of here. Do you know what she keeps behind her ears to attract the men? I said, no. He said, her fucking legs. Her legs have been open that long that when she dies, they'll have to bury her in a Y-shaped coffin. And I'm married, a man. I can't believe I've done that. I married her. Oh, Christ. I was looking at some wedding photographs the other day, compared with some photographs we had done a month ago, and I thought, fuck me, this 6 stone there, I never married. What a fiasco that was. We're walking down the hill, someone threw an horseshoe. I said, well, that's lucky. He said, what's lucky? I said, someone's thrown an horseshoe. He said, what's lucky about it? I said, is it your fucking mother in the mouth? Whoa. And the father-in-law, what a lazy old bastard. I've never known anybody like him. A prostitute went up to me the other day. She said, do you fancy a blowjob? He said, fuck that, might affect me dole money. How do you handle people like that? How can you handle people like that? Unbelievable. Went to Spain for our honeymoon. The hotel knew we were coming. Walked in there, you know. Oh, he said, Mr. Reid, the honeymoon couple, would you like a bridal? Nah, I said, I'll swing on the tits. Oh, dear, man. Done the usual thing like we all do, going on straight upstairs, case down. Went out late by a pool to have a drink, and I see my mate over. He'd been over a couple of weeks of Bill Riley's married. Bill's here tonight, aren't you, Bill? How are you, mate? Anyway, it was over. I said, what are you doing over, Bill? We said, I popped over, you know, a couple of rounds of golf, sent on Pooley Birds. I said, there's enough about it, son, isn't there? Jesus Christ. He said, no, he said, I've had no luck at all. I said, Bill, use your brains. Go over to the kitchen, get a large potato, stick it down your trunks, they'll be round you like flies, son. I've had a couple of drinks, little snooze, see him up. I went, Bill, Any luck with the birds? He went, nah, nothing at all. I said, Bill, you're supposed to put the potato down the front of your fucking tracks. Listen to this. Bearing in mind we just got married, all of a sudden I heard a voice go, hello. And out of this pool is coming a vision. Beautiful woman, about 28 years old, bearing in mind I was 21, the other one was 19, and she's got a lime green see-through, you know, when it gets wet, you could see all the welcome mat a lot, right? Listen. She went, are you from London? I said, yeah. She said, I thought I recognised the accent. She said, Jack, these two people from London. We get talking, you know, cut a long story short, I had a few light hours. When it was all over the afternoon, they've gone wherever their place was. Me and Mum should have gone upstairs. Etiquette got ready, coming downstairs for eat. Who should be in front of us? This, Denise and Jack. So he went out, my car. I said, all right, Jack. He said, where are you going? I said, down the restaurant, mate. He said, have you booked a table? I said, no, I ain't, as a matter of fact. Oh, he said, what you got to do? He said, no problem. He said, because, you know, we've got two chairs, you know, come and share it with us, football. I said, now do me down the ground, lovely. We got stuck out of the wine, right, we've had a glass, and all of a sudden, I feel this leg under the table, and it's this Richard. The leg is, and I'm 21, I've just got married, I thought, what the fucking hell's going on? And I don't know about you, but I'm one of those guys that just cannot, under any circumstances, keep one of them napkins on my left, and it slipped off of my left, right? And I've bent down to pick it up, and I've looked under the table. She's sitting there with her legs open, these beautiful tan legs with these black silk knickers, and I know what she was on about because I can lip read. Listen, will you listen? I'm trying to tell you something important here. A few more glasses of wine, and the girls did what they normally do, like my missus, you know, I'm going to the loo, do you want to come, love? She went, no, I'm all right. Well, my missus went at the loo, her old man went at the loo, and bearing in mind I was younger then, I had bunches of hair. As they'd gone out the room, this bird's got hold of the back of my hand, she went, wallop. Stuck her tongue right down my throat. Now, I've had a few light hours, I know I've just got married, but I couldn't help it, I got half a thick un. Cut a long story short, we've had more wine, and then they start to talk about this wife swapping. You know, I tried that 3 weeks ago. We all threw our keys in the middle. I wound up with a fucking AA box in Northampton. We've had the wine, they said, listen. We've had the wine, they suggest to walk down the beach. So we walk in. As we've come out the hotel, all of a sudden, this bird has slipped her arm round my waist. I thought, don't do that, because my old woman will go fucking ape shit. So I've looked round, this geezer slung his arm round my missus' waist. I thought, what's occurring? Then they start to talk about going swimming. And none of us had any costumes. So we didn't go. What do you think of that, fella? Oh, yeah, my old woman, I got her own uptime. She was horny in them days. She's frigid now, though. She's that frigid, every time she opens her legs, a fucking light comes on. Said to me the other night, I want to sleep on the other side of the mattress. I thought, fuck it, I laid it on top of her. She come and make love to me, and I can't stand it. I've got to put on one of those, like, you know, illuminated condoms, you know. That's in case the light goes, she can still read her fucking book. And she's so big, man, she's so big. She wears them fishnet tights, you know, when she takes them off, her ass looks like a waffle. You know, I've climbed on top, the usual thing happened, me fucking ears popped, you know. I'm lying there with half inch and a dozen wrinkles, I can't think of anybody at all, you know. She went, shall I get on top? I said, don't be ridiculous, it won't go down, or I ain't fucking liable to go up. And I live out in the country, I live in the country. About 3 weeks ago, we were sitting in this pub, come restaurant, if you will. And all of a sudden, this Yankee said, pardon me, sir, do I detect a London accent there? My woman said, what'd he say, what'd he say? I said, the gentleman's asked him if we had a London accent. She went, no. She said, you know, I used to go to London every weekend on a furlough when I was stationed out of Lakenheath, out in Essex there. Mommy said, what'd he say, what'd he say? He said, the American gentleman was saying he used to go to London, you know, when he had his furloughs, like his leave, used to every weekend. She used to go to a place called the Hammersmith Pally dancing. So what did he say? What did he say? I said, he used to go to the Hammersmith Pally dancing. And wow. And I said, I got to tell you, Mike, he said, I met a girl there one night. Jesus Christ, she had tits like John Wayne's saddlebags. And when I get her out of bed, man, it never touched the sides. He said, what did he say? What did he say? He said, he thinks he knows you. Lazy? We haven't had a clean plate in the house since the dog died. And her brother, he's just like, he's the laziest man I've ever. I'll give you a bit here about our brother. If it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have any kids. Telling you. And it's a weird family. I don't know if there's any animal rights activist in there, but that's what he is. I mean, all right, you've got your own opinions and you're entitled to them, as I've said before. But they broke into an animal research centre 4 weeks ago. He brings home a beagle. A fucking beagle. It's costing me a fortune. It smokes 80 fucking fags a day. And her other brother, he's a little weasel, horrible little bastard he is. Little thief, he's at everything, always like having nips. They break into a Red Cross centre 2 weeks ago. He comes home with a great big parcel full of shirts. I said, you lousy bastard. They could be going to Biafra. He said, piss off. Size 16 and a half collar. And the kids came along. My woman was in labour that long with the first one, had to fucking shave her twice. Kids are lovely though, I mean, they really are. I mean, they're so funny. I remember sitting in the bath with my Michael, who's about that big. He went, Dad, what's that? I said, that's my hedgehog, son. Oh, it's got some cock on it, hasn't it? He said to his mother, Mum, what's testicles? She went, bollocks. She said, fuck you, I'll ask me dad, he said. And the kids always seem to ask questions that men can't answer. You know how the kids are born. I mean, he came out one day, he said, Dad, how are babies born? And men are not quick to handle it. I don't know why. I said, well, you know, son, you know, stock brings them. He said, hey, who fucks a stock then? I remember my daughter asked my missus the same question. She must have been 11 years old. She said, Mummy, how are babies born? She said, well, darling, what happens is that Daddy plants a seed in Mummy's tummy. Oh, she said, do you have to swallow it? And only if you want a new dress. Woman always ridicules me, never gives a bleeding opportunity to miss, you know what I mean? My daughter said to her one day, she said, Mummy, what happens to motor cars when the engine breaks down and they go all rusty? She said, someone sells them to your father. And as parents, you know what I'm talking about. If you've got 2 kids, 3 kids, I don't know how many kids you've got, you can guarantee there's something similar about each one of them. Maybe their eyes, their complexion, their nose, their hair, their personality. And I was sitting down a long time ago, I got 6 kids at the Sunday lunch one day, and I was looking around, I said to her, here, 5 of these kids have got something that's similar about them. Their nose and he's got the same eyes. I said, he looks nothing like him. Has he got a different father? She went, yes. I said, you bastard, I know. Who? She went, you. Never misses an opportunity. Yeah, that's funny though, because remember my son Mike was 15 years old, he's suited and booted, he's going out to meet his first girlfriend. He's got a torch in his hand. I said, where you going, boy? He said, I'm going courting, Dad. I said, hey, boy, when I was your age and went courting, I never went with a torch. He went, no, look at you fucking wound up with. Oh, man. Oh, dear, oh, dear. But now I'm a granddad and looking at you younger people out there, I know you look like my bleeding granddad, I don't ever want to do that, but I promise you, Fabian, a man of my age will tell you that as you get older, every 10, 15 years goes by, your life changes, you change, and you enjoy things that you never thought you would enjoy. I love being a granddad. I've got dozens of them. Yeah. My oldest one's 6-year-old. Comes in the other day, he said, Granddad, will you do your frog impression? I said, what's that? He said, do your frog impression. I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, Nanny said, when you croak, we can all go to Disney World. Kids are lovely. Kids are lovely. They really are. Remember his first day at school? I said, man, all right, son, you enjoy that? Yeah. I said, what'd you learn? He said, obviously not enough. I can go again tomorrow. Yeah, I'm a granddad. I'm not that old. Not that old. I can remember white doctors. Remember when a blowjob was a Tony Curtis haircut? And I like old people, I really do. And I do a lot of respect for old people. They've been there. It's in their faces. They've done it all. I see an old boy about 8 weeks ago sitting on the road crying his eyes out. I said, what's the matter, Dad? Oh, he said, boy, I can't tell you. I said, come on, old son, what's the matter? No, he said, I don't want to saddle you with my problems. I said, come on, Dad, spit it out. Come on, it may help you. Well, he said, all right, son. He said, thanks for listening. He said, I'm going back 2 years ago. He said, I met this girl of 19 years of age, and don't ask me why, I only got above those one, and we fell in love. And we went to see her parents, and of course they didn't like the idea because I'm 83 years old, but they accepted it in the end. And we got married, and her father bought us this beautiful house. He said, and every day he sends me around a case of beer and a bottle of champagne, and when it comes to love making, I lay in bed, I don't have to do nothing. My young wife, she massages me and makes love to me every night. I ain't got to move a muscle. I said, what are you crying for, Dad? He said, I can't remember where I fucking live. They're lovely. Two old girls talking. One said, do you remember the minuet? The other one said, I don't even remember the min I fucked. She said, this old couple met out of a school reunion. He went, Jesus, he said, Rosie Grade, how are you? She said, Tommy Whittle. He said, that's right. He said, I haven't seen you for 35 years. He said, I know. He said, have a glass of punch, and a glass of punch or two. He said, you fancy going for a walk for old time's sake? She went, yes. They're walking down the road. He said, see that fence over there, Rosie? He said, that was the first time I ever made love to you by that fence there. She said, you fancy having another go? She said, we're a bit bloody over that. He said, come on, girl. Go there. He's got around the back of the fence, he's got a couple of bricks, he's put her leaning back against the fence, and away he went. When it was all over, he said, you know what, Rose? He said, you were better tonight than you were 35 years ago. She said, I know, but the fence weren't fucking electrified 35 years ago. Tragedy, terrible tragedy. Woman dying of an heart attack. The hospital rung up where the old man works. They've got into the flat hospital by cab. He's got, has my wife, has me. He said, no, please, calm down. Look, I'm afraid that it may nearly be all over. He said, the only thing was, he said that when we put the electrodes on, when we got to the mound of Venus, there happened to be a little tiny flicker of life there. And we was thinking, unethical as it may seem, that if you had oral sex with your wife, it may stimulate the rest of her body. You said, I ain't doing that in front of you, lot. No, they said, what we do, we get the screens round, we put the monitors up above the screen so we can watch what's going on. I said, go on in. So they put the monitors in, got the screen round, and he went in there and I was watching the monitor. Ping, ping, ping. All of a sudden he went, beep, and ran out. The doctor said, she's dead. She said, oh, no, she's bleeding dead. The doctor said, what happened? He said, what happened? It's your bleeding fault, isn't it? In oral sex. I'm no expert, but I think she choked to death. Another geezer pacing the wall. He's pacing the wall. His baby's going to be born. He's pacing up and down. Jesus Christ. All of a sudden, the nurse came out and said, Mr. Jones? He said, yes. She said, you've got 3. He said, 3 triplets? Are you kidding? She went, no, you've got 3. Oh, he said, I'm over the moon. She said, I've got to tell you. She said, for a man to knock out 3, you must be well stacked down there. He said, I've got a bit of a chimney. She said, you want to get home and get it swept? They're all black. Fella walked in, the doctor said, he said, you come for examination. He said, oh, he said, get undressed. The geezer he's taking his pants off. The doctor went, cool, he said, you've got a lovely pair of brown balls. He went, what? He said, I think you've got a lovely pair of brown balls. He went, hang on, doc. He said, I've come for examination. What, are you some sort of woofter? He said, come on, examine me. So I went, examine him. He went, cough. He went, I haven't seen a pair of brown balls like that for years. The geezer went, behave yourself. What's the matter? You're a fucking dry one. Turn it in. He said, I'm sorry. He said, I'm just admiring your brown. He went, all right. He said, doctor said, we'll get dressed. Geezer bent over, putting his pants on. The doctor went, it's the best pair of brown balls. He went, behave yourself. Turn it in. He's walked up. Opened up the front door. His old woman was halfway up the stairs, scrubbing his hair. He went, get my bloody dinner. She said, get your dinner. She said, I'm sick of doing this. I'm sick of doing it. I get up in the morning, I cook the kids' breakfast, I cook your breakfast, I take the kids to school, I come home, I do the housework, I do the shopping. I ain't got time to wipe the arse. He said, that's another fucking thing I want to talk to you about. He said, Jesus Christ. I think the finest humour in the world, without a doubt, is Jewish humour. Unfortunately, you've got to have an understanding of the Jewish language and a Jewish way of life to understand most of them. But they're people that laugh at themselves, against themselves, and with themselves. They've got wonderful... I'll give you one that you haven't even got to think about. Abe is laying in bed and he's dying. He's got his wife Sadie by his side. And he went, Sadie, I'm dying, Sadie. I met you in 1922, she said. You was a passenger in a vehicle that knocked me down, but you was the first one out of that vehicle and you cradled my head in your arms. You was by my side, Sadie. Then came the war, and we was thrown into Auschwitz. Not a happy time, but you were by my side. In 1947, we opened up that little business. For 3 years, it was great. After that, it went downhill, but badly. But you were by my side, Sadie. And now, I'm dying. And you're by my side, Sadie. Sadie, you're nothing but a fucking jinx. These 2 policewomen were going home in a car. One policewoman said to the other one, she went, oh, hey, stop the car, unless she said, for Christ's sake, I forgot my knickers, I've left them back in the bloody locker. She said, oh, it's only 2 minutes away. She said, I can't go round the block again, darn all the bloody one-way system. We've got the dog in the back, that's what the dog's for. Let him... Dog went, gone. Come back with it 5 minutes later with a sergeant's bollocks in his mouth. I love pub gigs. I love pub gigs. Geezer walked in the pub, opened the bleeding door, and his mate went, Tommy, what happened to you? He said, I had a fight with Dave Jenkins. He said, Dave Jenkins is your best mate. He said, I know. He said, look at the state of your ear holes hanging off. You got no teeth in your mouth. Jesus Christ, you got a big gash in your head. He must have had something in his bloody hand to do something like that. He said, he did, a shovel. He said, what'd you have in your hand? Oh, he said, his wife's tit, but that's no good in a fight. He said. Or the posh geezer, the one of your own in a pub, one of the posh geezer, do you know, he said, for Christmas, I bought my wife a Mercedes-Benz and a Rolls-Royce. She uses the Mercedes to go shopping, and on the odd occasion when we're going something decent, she always uses the Rolls-Royce. The other man said, yeah, I know what you mean, pal. For Christmas, I bought my old woman a pair of slippers and a vibrator. She don't like the slippers, she can go and fuck herself. He said. Or the 2 drunks in a bar argued. One said, what's the longest hair on your body? His mate said, well, it's simple, he said. It's the hair on your head, he said, because it grows down all the way. No, mate, that's where you're wrong. That's where everybody's wrong, he said, because the hair on your head gets a certain length and it frays and breaks. He said, all right then, what's the longest hair on your body? He said, your eyelash. Eyelash. He said, what are you talking about? It's only ½ inch long. He said, yeah, but you see with the eyelash, it grows out ½ inch and it goes back in. And it grows right over your cranium, all the way down your backbone, right the way down your arse, and it comes out your arse. His mate said, that's bullshit. He said, is it? He said, you pull hair out your arse and watch your fucking eyes water. This will kill you, this one. We'll have an early night. Listen to this. Woman went to the doctor's. Doctor said, what can I help you? She said, doctor, it's very embarrassing for me. He said, but I'm injured down there. Well, the doctor said, well, take your panties off, let's have a look. He went, Jesus Christ, he said. He said, I've got to say, that's badly damaged. What happened? She said, well, we went on safari, he said, and they stopped the coach for me because I wanted the wee, and I've gone behind this rock, and as I'm having a wee, this elephant come out with his trunk. I mean, well, he said, I can understand to a certain extent. He said, but I've got to tell you, he said, I've done a lot of work with Dave in Attenborough, and an elephant's penis is only about that long, and it's really only about that thick. I mean, yes, it would hurt very much. He said, but we wouldn't do that sort of damage. She said, well, actually, doctor, he fingered me first. Thanks for coming down, ladies and gentlemen. Be nice to each other. Good night, God bless you, and thank you very much indeed. Thank you.